All right. Hello, everyone. It's 1171 here, and today I am doing another interview, but with a different individual. So this individual has a little bit of a history with Skylar Blue, and this has all went back since 2021, according to him. So yeah, without further ado, I will literally introduce you to Reizo. Hey, Reizo,
Oh,
thank you for coming.
no problem. So yeah, um, I saw your live stream in my recommended on YouTube because
Mhm.
it's just like okay, sure, why not? I guess we're
Yeah.
interviewing Skylar.
Yeah.
So
So before we go to the whole entire details, we'll start from the very beginning of
of course,
how did you meet Skylar in the first place?
yeah, sure. Okay, so I met Skylar in I want to say late 2020. I know for a fact I was in my senior year of high school.
All right.
Uh, I think she was asking around a Discord server. I cannot remember for the life of me which one for a Sonic VA, and I
Okay.
just happened to have that range. So we hit it off from there. Um, and then about a year or so later, our friendship's still going strong. Then I get into a relationship with someone who called herself Skylar's Discord brother. Um,
All right.
she didn't like that though. So you know what she did? She manipulated me into thinking that I was being used by this person for just my voice. And the funny thing is, she went around and did the exact same thing to me later. So I guess it was true, just not the right person.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I wanted to speak my end on this because, like I told you in chat, Skylar is a habitual liar, so she will try to lie her way out of any questions that could incriminate her. I should
Hmm.
know because I our DMs show that. Um, so I did not get the opportunity to watch your live stream because I had a sneaking suspicion that if I did, that word I don't know if I can say, 5-letter word beginning with a B, would
Yeah.
give me an aneurysm.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely fine because
Uh,
obviously I do need to have people coming in and for
and like I
literally
told you, yeah,
questioning.
getting all the sides is sacrosanct. I commend you for going into this like high level conspiracy thing we got going on here, because yeah, that's essentially what dealing with Skylar Blue is. It's like one giant conspiracy that has like false roads, false answers,
Hmm.
false everything really.
Yeah. Because judging by Saliskio's video, something that really ain't that correct.
Oh
Because
sweet
obviously,
Jesus, yeah, like what was it, like 10, 20, 30 different exposed videos?
there's only like two exposed videos, but also one is proper exposed video, and the other one is
Oh,
like
trust me,
it's,
there are
it's
more.
just not giving a fuck.
If you look up Skylar Blue, like 30 of them will show up.
But yeah, so she literally kind of tried to manipulate you and straight up lie to you.
Yes, she made it seem like the partner I was with at the time was with me for just the the old pipes here. And then it turned out that she was going to end up doing that later, because uh, I was a young, youthful, stupid voice actor at the time. I did not know what the term being used meant. So, basically, I jumped at the opportunity of like voicing anything for her, even if it was like some not safe for work stuff, which is where like that came in to play because, if like even if I didn't want to do it, she would somehow try to convince me to do it, whether it be like begging me to do it or just like saying like
seducing or anything else like that?
sometimes yeah, because I actually was one of her exes, yeah, so sometimes she would.
Right.
And she's not done it to just me. There's like other people who, for understandable reasons, do not want to be involved with this anymore. So I'm not going to name them. But yeah, she's done it to a bunch of other people. It is not just a sole instance. It is a habit going across now, what, 6 years, something like that.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you know that Sky turning out to be a predator? Was it just literally Celestius's video,
Yeah.
or were you that?
So one of her partners that came after me does
Right.
some voice work for me. I don't know if he wants to be named, so I'm not going to name him. But he does some voice work for the teen years of my character on screen here, Reizo. And me and him got to talking while they were still dating, and I don't remember when or how, but the topic of our ages came up, and I told him mine, and then he told me his, and then I started doing the math in my head. If I'm remembering correctly, she's only a year younger than me. I'm 22, about to be 23 in October. She would have been, was it 2021 at that time that they were dating, and he was like 16.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, if that calculation is correct, she might have been 17 at that time, if
No.
I'm
She
not
would have.
mistaken.
No. She was 20 when he was 16, and they were dating.
Right. Even though she told me that she's currently 22.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah, that's right. She's not a full year younger than me. Yeah, sorry. I was calculating as if she was a full year younger than me. She's only like a little bit before. My bad.
No,
So yeah,
that's
then
fine.
she would be like 2021, something like that, while they're
So
dating.
2021, she
Because
should be 17 years old at that time when she's about to
uh,
turn 18 or something.
no, because they were only dating a couple of years, like a year or so ago.
Right. Okay.
So he I think he just turned, I want to say 18. Sorry, I don't keep track of my VA's ages. I'm not that much invested. So I think he might be 17 right now. He's in that range. He's 16, 17, 18, one of those three.
Right.
So he is well, like he was well under the legal age for her to be dating at that time that they were dating.
Right.
And so yeah, that sort of clued me in to that, and so I started looking into all the other relationships that I know she had been in, because another trait of hers, you can date her as long as you can do an impression of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
I am sadly not being hyperbolic when I say that.
No, that's fine. It's kind of a bit
So yeah,
oddish.
it is very odd. So I was going through like all the relationships I know she had besides me, and there were some that were of age, thank God, but there were a couple who were. I think I saw the absolute lowest was 16, and she was like, yeah, the
Right.
same age, about 20, 21. Because this has all happened within like the last couple of years. Like all these
Right.
relationships that I've looked into, well, they were all after me. And then when people started like doing videos on it, I'm like, oh shit, huh? So I'm not going crazy. Awesome. So I started hopping in some of the live streams or videos to give the info that I had. I've since gotten rid of it because I didn't think I'd need it again, but here we are.
Yeah. So about the situation of Skylar being a predator, because
Yes.
people are saying that she was literally touching a minor, even though she told me, and she also
Um.
uh, showed me that she tripped over.
So that part I don't have a good answer on because, to my knowledge, all of her relationships, except for one, were online. Because she
Right.
had this one partner who also did TikTok videos with her, who would, I believe, either she would fly over there or he would fly over to her place, one of the two. And that was the only in-person relationship that I knew she had. So I guess the closest I could think of in terms of touching a minor is like kind of manipulating them into doing some not safe for work like role play or maybe some uh, over the call not so holy stuff, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay.
uh, but I wouldn't have any evidence on me to prove that because that would be my first time hearing about it when you brought it up.
Yeah, because at this point, if there's no evidence, then this is just kind of a bit of a speculation, a 50-50 chance that it could be true and could not be.
Of course, get all your facts straight. Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
because I care about is just literally seeing screenshots, audio logs, and
of
video
course, of course.
clips, because those are more
Yeah,
heavier reasons.
yeah, I 110% agree.
Yeah.
Uh, if you don't mind me asking, what all was said in your interview with Skylar? Because I want to see how she describes things, and then if I have a side that I could give, I'll just give my side, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Because me and her literally spent nearly 2 hours
Yeah, but
just
say that
talking
thing
about
looks like
that.
it was like an hour and a half long. I'm like, ooh, that's a long video.
Yeah, but yeah, so obviously in Celestia's video, she was accusing of using an MSW avatar and didn't know the minor was present. So
Okay, so that I can confirm the existence of the NSFW avatar. However, I don't ever remember her bringing up any mention of a minor being present.
because
So I guess if there was
during
one
the
present,
video,
I can see her not knowing.
yeah, because during in the video that she said that she saw a minor and then quickly looked away and saying, "Don't look, don't look." So at that point, it's kind of a
Yeah,
bit of a speculation.
yeah,
But the
that was
biggest question
entirely
is, though,
speculatory, so you can get more info. Yeah.
yeah. So the biggest question is the server either was an 18 plus server or was it just literally open to friends?
Uh, server. Those.
Yeah.
She had a couple of those, most of which I was helping her with. Not any that I could think of that were specifically 18 plus. But I think they were. Yeah, I think they were mainly open to, um, like friends or anyone who had a link. And I do believe people could invite friends if they wanted to.
Right.
Let's see. Uh, if there was any NSFW stuff going on, I would hope that she would be smart enough to keep it behind private channels, but all things considered, I don't know.
Right. Okay. So, anything else? Any other information?
Yeah, because I figure I've already brought this up in like other streams. Might as well go ahead and add it here too, because I know for a fact she won't talk about it. The
Yeah.
way she would treat people who worked on project with her. So she had this audio drama called Skylar's Quest, and the server for that is now defunct, and there's a damn good reason for it. Basically, if stuff was not being done to her liking, or not to the speed of her liking, she would round up everybody, get them in a VC, and just basically just yell at them for like a good 30 minutes about how like she's like, oh my gosh, she's so depressed. We need to get in gear. All that shit. It really sucks when you have to be the one that hears it like every week because you're like one of the writers on that series. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, it was asinine, man. Like, she didn't even write anything for the first episode of that. Like, that entire script, and hopefully she'll admit this too, was solo written by me. And if I hadn't done that, the series would not have started at all. She would have been dragging her feet, writing scripts, and nothing would have gone anywhere.
All right. Okay. And
then that series got to episode 2, and episode 3 was in production, and then the project was just canned. Whether it be her own emotional stuff, people working with her finally getting tired of her yelling at them constantly, which who could blame them? And like I guess just other stuff she had going on, like college or whatever. I also don't know if this is still true, but apparently she got a job working as a walk around actor at Disney, and
she's no longer working at Disney.
Okay, I was gonna say I heard that and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. So that was kind of true, but obviously she got fired.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet they looked into all the videos.
It's not that. It's just literally just filing for not being a character.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So it's not the videos. It's literally just not being a character.
That's fair. Honestly, it would have been a nice bit of poetic justice if it was. But yeah, it's whatever. Did you have any more questions for me, by the way? Because I'd love to give any info that I can.
Not really sure. But obviously, with Skylar Blue was shouting, it's basically relating to the ADHD because she was trying to get things working, but obviously this wasn't. And she did say that
I don't know if she can
people were literally messing around when she was trying to take some stuff seriously. So I want your expectation on that.
So I don't know if she. I don't think the ADHD thing makes sense because I am running my own series, which is currently in production, and I too have ADHD. But you don't see me yelling at my people that hey, we need to get in here. Like I say it calmly, and I just be like patient with them. And with the whole people messing around thing, keep in mind this was not a paid thing. So like, if anybody had any other priorities that were like paid roles, why would you stop them from recording those? That's gonna make them money. This doesn't. And let's see. Yeah. There was also her talking about being diagnosed with something. I want to say, was it bipolar disorders? Something like that. It was some disorder. Oh, it was DID. Thank you.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's here.
Yeah, I remember the thumbnail.
It was DID. And we had someone on who actually was diagnosed with DID, and very, very quickly debunked that she was diagnosed with that. So I guess if you want to add lying about diagnoses with that, among other things, sure. She did eventually show a doctor's note, which I put in quotes because we didn't see her name on it or a doctor's signature, which is like the telltale sign of like.
Well, that's probably private information. Just in case
Really?
for the doctor safety and all that shit.
Fair. But I don't remember seeing anything blacked out. So like I mean if she did, I just don't remember. Let's see. What else was there? I mean, I guess I could talk about this. So she would constantly put people in these NSFW things on StreamYard, not recorded, thank God, but basically she would do them like after she recorded a live stream.
And then she just do a private stream, then just invite
yeah, and everybody just listen to all.
Just do NSFW shit. Right.
Sorry, wait. One more time, you kind of cut out quite a lot there.
So basically, she literally just ends some of her projects and then go onto StreamYard, invite some random guys, and just do NSW shit in private.
Yeah.
Was she in a relationship at the time?
At the time those were happening, I believe she was in a relationship with me.
Right.
Yeah, I think for some of them. And at first, people were fine with it. Like, okay, sure. This is like a good way to relieve my tensions. Then it started getting to where people were like starting to feel uncomfortable. And then when they would talk with her about it, she would get uber emotional, and then she would have to like the same thing with me about the whole whining thing. She'd do the same thing to them and like kind of coerce them to stay in the call with like doing all that stuff, and it was like some weird shit, like some super weird shit.
Right.
Like, I don't have any immediate examples that wouldn't get your stream demonetized.
Well, obviously, I'm not getting paid, so.
Yeah, I feel like the minute I list off one of them, like your video would probably get immediately age restricted.
Well, I was already restricting my fucking channel to age 18, so.
But I think one that should be okay was there were some that involved characters choking her character.
Right.
Yeah, and like apparently she got off to that. I don't know. Like, like I said, man, it's some uber weird stuff. And then this is more personal gripe, but it's just this told me how little she cares about how she treats other people's characters. So she had a VR chat series that involved my character, and for one of the recordings, I was unable to be present. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I had something with my grandfather I was doing. And I asked, like, hey, is there anybody who knows this character that can fill in? And she said, yeah. And so I'm like, okay, perfect. Fill them in. Hopefully this comes out on time still. I trust you. My trust was misguided. The episode comes out. I watch it. And then I immediately... I needed, like, second, third, fourth, and, like, fifth opinions. Because I had to send this to the people that I was working with at the time who understood the character of Reizo. And I'm like, hey, does this seem like stuff Reizo would say, or am I high? And every one of them said the exact same thing I did. Like, that's not... No. Reizo's a fighter, not a foodie. He wouldn't ask, like, where's the food? Like, that's stupid.
So she basically flipped the script and kind of alternated your character then.
So, I did confront her about this specifically because of how heated I was about it. And this version of events she gave me, I don't know if I believe anymore. I believed it at the time, but I don't know if I believe it anymore. So the way she told it to me was the person she chose was given the avatar and was told to act out the scenes. And with them being improv in nature, the characters don't really have a script per se. You just kind of guesstimate lines. And according to her, she kept trying to get him to say stuff that Reizo would say, and he would just not. So, like, you can see why I'd believe it, but, like, considering how she can manipulate people into doing what she wants, I don't believe that he would be able to, like, get past all that. Or at the very least, she go find, like, someone who can actually act out the character, right? So,
yeah.
It got to the point where where I had to make a digital contract with people who were using the character, saying, hey, you acknowledge that you will run any uses of my character by me before acting upon them. And, like, any misuse of the character will result in, like, revoking of use of character, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I point out this one question in your chat?
Yeah, the question here with Dragon Ball fan. Yes, Skylar Blue does own her character, but she kind of got rid of it now.
Yeah, because of something that is very interesting. So if you go and look on DeviantArt and look up Skylar Blue, sure, you will see fan art of her character, but you'll also see a character named Skylar the Arctic Wolf by an artist named Pasuteri. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, because me and Skylar actually talked about that in this interview together.
And according to Skylar, she's had the character since, like, what, 2017? Something like that? I cannot remember for the life of me what year she gave. But anything prior to anything post 2016, the Arctic Wolf still came first, because that's when Pasuteri dropped the first art of that character. So, and considering how, like, similar their hairstyles are, their outfits, not necessarily color palettes, but that could just be we've all seen Sonic Recolors. And so that, along with the fact of her constant want to trace over art if she can't get like her certain vibe across instead of just using it as reference, that led me to believe that she took that character from 𝑗𝒆𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒏 and remade it and just didn't even bother changing the name.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And also, speaking on her art, I know this is gonna be like feel like a bit of a personal jab, but I have offered her constant, and I mean constant, offers to learn the Sonic or Mobian anatomy from me to help improve her art. And she constantly kept shooting me down because apparently she knows what she's doing. Yeah, I don't know about that, Chief. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I redrew a frame that she drew for one of her, for I think it was Skylar's Quest. It was a frame of my character, her character, or Skylar, and Sonic. I don't remember why I was allowed to redraw it, but I was. I still have that somewhere. It's lying in my phone somewhere. And I was, for fun, I asked people, hey, which one of these looks like more well drawn? This one, which was the original, and mine, which had no color. It was just line art and a gray background. Everyone kept saying the one that was the gray with line art. Oh, another question from Dragon Ball fan. What's the beef between 𝑥 and Skylar Blue? I don't know if I'm at liberty to answer that question.
You can't answer the question then. That's just totally fine, because I don't think you're probably there.
I was gonna say, Dragon Ball fan, that might just be an interview you might have to look forward to. Spartan's interview.
Yeah. But if I could find that individual, then probably do an interview with him or her.
Of course. I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
But back to the relationships. How many relationships do you think or believe that Skylar was in before she started committing ERPs with other individuals?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the question. What's up?
How many relationships has Skylar has been before the whole whole thing just literally blows up?
I'm sorry, we're saying how, like...
It's like, how many relationships has Skylar had?
How many relationships has she had? Okay.
Yeah.
The number I have and the actual number are probably two very different ones, and mine's probably the lesser amount. But
right,
my count was at 25.
25 relationships, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I list them off, but like I said, they probably don't want to be involved, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, they don't want to be involved, then that's up to them. Yes. Any other questions that you want to ask?
I guess just one that's been burning in my mind ever since I found out that you did an interview.
Mm-hmm.
What possessed you to go into this?
Well, considering with all the Predator Hunter videos, some of them aren't exactly how it's supposed to really go, because obviously during in the Celestials videos, there's barely any evidence that has been provided, and plus there's only like one victim that has been interviewed, and it's like
Okay.
if there were more uh, victims or people that witness it, then why weren't they in the video? And if there was supposed to be tons of evidence, then why weren't they showed up? So this
Of
is
course.
the
Okay.
prime example of how to do predator hunting a bit correctly, but also being a detective to know the whole story and getting people together, interviewing them, hearing and seeing what their side of the story is, and just try to figure out which is lying
I mean,
or both are called bullshits. Because two stories could be
honestly,
bad as one another.
I've got to commend you because you seem to be the one person who got to interview her that didn't leave with emotional scarring. I've heard so I've seen I think this is just one specific clip of a particular video where she just goes off on the person that's interviewing her.
Yeah. But still, because I was literally, literally kind of interrogating her for the last like 2 to 3 months straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get some information out of her and trying to figure out what the hell was going on back then.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I guess how about that? Like you're coming in like only you've only been doing this for a couple months. The initial like second wave of that whole situation was in January. Oh God, it has been a while.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Because the way that Celestials did it is not really professional level. So this here is a prime example that people has to be professional if they are going to take predator hunting seriously. They have
Yeah.
to do detective roles.
Yeah. Like honestly, like if it weren't for my interest as to wondering what the hell possessed you to get into this again, um, I probably wouldn't have asked for an interview because I don't even talk about her on my TikTok, whereas like that's like my main platform. Because I could have very easily just gave my side of the story, gave no context, and people probably would have accepted that. But I was so
time.
thank you, Google. I was so um done with it that I didn't even bother with the situation anymore. But yeah, no, you are a brave man for doing this.
Well, it might either be a brave man or a fucking moron, but hey.
you're, you're either the most brilliant man in the world or the stupidest man on this planet. I fall more into the latter category.
Yeah. There is another question though that did literally come out to my brain. She was receiving death threats from fans and some of the people that also were helping out with her own series. So I want you to kind of debunk that and see if that's actually true or not.
Yeah. About her series, the only thing I could think of that, and this is more like this is not even like a jab at her. This is just a critique that I hope she takes to heart because I know for a fact I've ruined any chance of talking with her again. Like I burned that bridge months ago. Um, what I would hope she does is instead of just when things don't go right, just cancel the series and make a new one. Like work through the problems before canning a show. Because aside from your VR chat series, I think every other series you've made hasn't got past episode 2.
Right.
Yeah. And like it got so bad to where I thought that like maybe I was cursed and like all the projects that I had involvement in just didn't make it past episode 2, but then it started happening with projects that I wasn't involved in. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not cursed, thank God.
Yeah. So this is kind of a bit off topic about Scarlet Blue, but what do you think of the VR chat community and the VR chat Sonic community as a whole?
Ooh. this is a bold question to be asking a PNG tuber. All right.
Because I know the fucking answer.
It's fine. I have an answer. So, much like most communities, it has its ups, it has its downs, it has its left, and it has its rights. There are people who are just the nicest people you ever will meet. They like have like these nice looking Sonic character models. They have like the most creative minds I've ever seen. Commend these people. And then there's the flip side of that coin, where literally anyone that joins that has a similar model to them, and I've seen this happen. It happened with my character because I actually have a VRC model for him. I was called an orange shadow, and I'm just like, okay, damn. Well, ouch. But I will say that insult did make for a funny as hell video.
No.
Yeah, so like there are goods and there are bads. The goods sometimes outweigh the bads, but it's more often the other way around. Quite unfortunately. I would like for it to do better and change, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it won't happen anytime soon.
Right. And how do you feel that the whole entire VR chat Sonic community literally tearing themselves apart by just straight up backstabbing each other, making excuses, or committing people, saying they're predators and all that shit?
So with the entirety of the VR chat community doing all that, it made me want to distance myself from VR chat for like a good couple of years before it got like until it got resolved, fixed, addressed, whatever. And to my knowledge, I thought it had been. I guess not. All right. But yeah, when it happened, or when I knew of it happening, that was when I said, I don't think I've ever felt bad for someone making a platform more. Because, like, think about it. Someone made the concept of VR chat and then had help with, like, coding, developing, design, all that. Those people are probably, most definitely probably, proud of their baby. And then you have all these people who decided to wake up one day, choose violence, and just ruin it for everybody. And it sucks because, like you know the old time saying, "This is why you can't have nice things." Like, yeah, like prime example. Like all these people, being called predator with no physical proof. People people doxing people, or the one I see most common, people having their avatars ripped, which is why I am very careful with my character and going on VR chat, because at any time someone can just come up, rip my avatar, and go make VR content, and it would be indistinguishable from me. sure they'd have a different voice, but people would probably chalk that up to, okay, email just got someone to use the model. So like they would see it as official content from me, and that part scared me the most because, like if they went off and made not so savory content, then people will go look at my old content in a completely different light.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I could be wrong, I think is why people stopped watching Skylar. Because I think after all the stuff that came to light, I think that kind of made them look at her older content in a different light. And coming back to the VR chat analogy, that sucks because like that first script for Skylar's Quest, I put my heart and soul into that. I went through like 5 cans of Dr. Pepper and pulled like 2 all-nighters right in that script. So like I put my passion into that, and now people probably see it as like, oh my god, this is cringe Sonic content.
Right.
Yeah, so sorry to kind of like jump from topic to topic there, but I just felt like I needed to get that out there.
Well, you just need to get the whole thing off your chest, and besides, everybody needs to hear about everybody's side of the story.
Of course.
That's what really matters, just to fill in the gaps.
But yeah, there's also something that Skylar was doing, and I have proof of her doing this. She had she and I had a mutual friend who made a logo for the Skylar's Quest audio drama.
Right.
Out of the kindness of their heart. No charge. And it was used. And then once there was a kind of falling out between Skylar and our mutual, they just kindly asked, hey, can you not use that logo and like make a new one so I can just desensitize myself from the situation, which is totally understandable. And then 3 months later, she's found using the logo without permission.
Right.
Yeah. And I know this because that logo, the person who made it wanted us to stop using it in the middle of the production of episode 3 of Skylar's Quest.
Right.
That logo was reused for, I believe, the finale of the first season of her VR chat series, which, like I said, came out like 3 months later or so, however long that was. So, like, if her channel was still up, the proof would literally be like on YouTube itself, which is funny.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this could just be me with like tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I do think it was a bit excessive to delete your TikTok, your YouTube, even I think your Instagram too. I think she had one that she deleted, and she deleted her Discord account.
Mm.
Like I think that might have been a bit excessive.
Well, that's basically her choice, and besides, it's also kind of her parents' choice, but it was her call.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like I said, maybe I'm just like thinking too much into it, but I don't know. Kind of seems a little weird to just like have all this happen and then like delete your content entirely instead of like just privating it. Because that's the thing you can do on with TikTok and YouTube. Instagram, I'm not sure, but I do believe you can private your channels. So we're like only people who have the link to it can view, subscribe, all that good jazz. Sorry. Let's see. about the people that she was mistreating that worked on her series with her. People would constantly try to give her suggestions to improve the series, myself included. And all they'd be met with was one of two things. Either her yelling at them for suggesting anything other than her specific vision, which was practically non-existent, and they would be met with, "I'll think on it," and then never hear about it again.
Right.
One of our friends, who I'm still friends with, wanted to do a 3D animated credit sequence for the end of the series, for the end of the episodes. And the way that Skylar sounded about it, she was so hyped about it, and so was I, because I thought that sounded kind of cool. And then it never came up again. And he kept asking, like, "Hey, are we doing this? Are we not?" And I had to be like the bearer of bad news and tell him, like, "I'm sorry, man. I genuinely have no idea." Because like I was technically a writer on that series, and she didn't even communicate with even me as to what the hell she was doing. Like, it was kind of just, I had to predict her vibes.
Right. So the whole projects that you, Skylar, and the rest have been doing, was it a teamwork project or was it just Skylar's own personal projects?
So Skylar gave like the basic concept, and then everyone started putting in their own flavor to things, because the basic concept she gave was so basic that it was basically a sentence long.
Right.
So we were just kind of trying to figure out, maybe no thing. I don't know. Yeah. So maybe. Huh?
Yeah, check sex without me.
So yeah. Because it was so bare bones, we had to keep like figuring out what we could do to make it passable, because I feel like if we went with just strictly her ideas, we'd get like a view or two maybe, and it would probably just be like pity views from like the people who helped make it. Which sucks, because like YouTube is like one of those, well, okay, it's not anymore, but it was one of those platforms where you could have something creative pushed out, and it could be pushed by the algorithm if you were lucky. Yeah, we wouldn't have been lucky either way if we went with Skylar's idea straight up. Because there was an analogy that someone made, and by God, I cannot find a better one. It was, what she essentially wanted to make was Sonic the Hedgehog into the Spider-Verse. And considering the fact that the basic description of Skylar's Quest was her going through different dimensions, meeting all the variants of Sonic, I mean,
no.
I'm not trying to call a spade here, but like, like I'm sorry. It could just be that she saw it, got inspired, and then decided to make that. But
It's probably that.
But yeah, there was also her. This was mainly for the VR chat thing. I don't think I ever noticed her doing this with the audio dramas, but she would constantly push the copyright protection on her videos. And by that I mean she would regularly use copyrighted footage and music. And I kept telling her, like, hey, this will probably get your channel axed. And she just, I guess it just went in one ear out the other.
Right.
Yeah. So, to recap, she doesn't listen to people when they give her advice. She constantly lies to and about people. She is confirmed to have dated people under the age of 18, while she is well over the age of 18. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Well, I can't think of it, but some other fifth thing. And that's my perspective on everything. I feel like other people's will match mostly. Because, I mean, like I said, she's done this to a lot of people. Like, way too many for me to count.
Yeah. So that's all you want to say, or do you want to say one last thing to Skylar Blue personally on here?
I guess I'll just leave y'all with this. Skylar, we were not exposing you to scare you off of your platforms. We were exposing you to help you do better, because I'm sorry, what you were doing was just straight up illegal. You can't call it anything else. It is illegal. So yeah, I hope whatever fate has for you, you eventually fix your broken ways.
Hmm.
And I do believe that's all.
Well, that's well said. So yeah, if
Thank you.
you got any friends that has some personal history with Skylar Blue, then feel free to contact them to contact me. I'm always available on Discord, and I'm also available on Twitter as well. So
Okay.
yeah. So thank you very much for coming in.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So once again, guys, please do not harass anybody, especially for Skylar. They've all been through so much hell and back.
I probably should have added that. Thank you. Do not go harassing anybody who has been mentioned, which I think is just me and Skylar.
Yeah.
We all have our own lives, and we don't need to be dealing with that on top of whatever we got going on. So just, if you have any opinions, share them amongst yourselves. Try to be civil about it, and don't come after people who are involved. Okay? Cool.
Yep. So I'm going to end the stream here. So thank you guys all for tuning into the stream. And I will be continuing on with other interviews with other individuals. But if you are an individual that has been in contact with Skylar throughout the years, please let me know on either Discord or Twitter. So if you want to get to the links, it's obviously in my channel. So yeah. As always, see you guys in the next interview, and take care, everybody.
Have a good day.